is doing well. Today, it's not so sunny out. It's pretty cold. It's been cold. It was cold last night. I was looking forward to nicer weather as the days progressed because, it started to get hot and very summer-ish outside. Long story short, I love food, and throughout my entire life I've sold food. So, you're not gonna trust a skinny waitress or a skinny chef. And now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm not a teenager. I'm not 40, but I am a young adult who has had, an interesting life, a hard life, a rough life. I made a lot of mistakes, and, now, looking back, I've come a really long way, and I think, day to day, in a lot of folks' lives, especially if you work a 9 to 5 and you have a routine, it seems like day to day, nothing changes. And for me, looking back, everything has changed. So today I was speaking with two people who are fairly close to me as far as in a professional world, and they review basically my goals, what I've accomplished, what I've achieved, if I'd stayed stuck, if I'm getting worse. And day to day I seem to be progressing exceptionally well, more so than a very, very large percentage of people with similar circumstances. I don't want to say I'm chosen or I'm God's favorite, because we're all important. It's just in the recovery community, especially people who are MICA patients, even when we put down the substances, we're still left with these behaviors, these attitudes, these ideas, and these normalcies that other people don't find normal. And employment has been an issue for a lot of folks. I feel from doing my research and from questioning professionals and my own personal experience, a lot of men and women who are in trying situations and poor circumstances, whether it be poverty or any type of drug problem, alcohol problem, mental health problem, all issues included, the main thing is to try. And it's admirable of myself and others who work at places it doesn't work out and get a new job, rather than just never try and say, oh, I'm disabled. And I feel America has put men and women in situations where it's a setup to fail and depend on them for financial support and guidance for whatever reason. And last night I was not in my feelings so much, but trying to justify and rationalize my behavior at certain jobs. And the conclusion I came to is like this: men have children, their baby mothers will put them on child support. They get a job, child support takes the money. They don't pay the money, the cops lock them up. While they're locked up, they can't work, and it's a vicious cycle. If a person commits a felony or a robbery to eat because they're starving, human nature, you're hungry, you don't have money, you're gonna steal. You get out, you can't get a job because you stole, you steal again. I think the mental health system, the drug court system, all of these Section 8, systems, they're flawed because they put a person in a housing, house, apartment, whatever. It takes like 2 years, 10 months, 15 months, 20 months to get a psychiatric appointment or diagnosis. You can't get disability because it takes forever. You work so it shows you're not disabled. You lose hella jobs, and then, your psychiatrist says, oh, I'm going to write the letter. You've proved that, you can't work. It's going to take another 18 months to 24 months. You get a part-time job. You lose your benefits because you're not full-time and you're not disabled. And round and around you go. Same thing with, God forbid a person wants to hurt others or hurt themselves, and I'm so happy and so grateful that's not me or my life. But in the past, I've had drug-induced suicidal ideation, and what happens is, I'm in an apartment, I have a job, I'm living check to check, and I'm buying my own cigarettes, my own tampons, my own food. Nobody contributes to my life. Say I relapse, I can't go to rehab because my job will fire me. No one's going to send me cigarettes. Blah, 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 blah. And it's the same thing with working. When you're recovering, you want to go to therapy. You want to go to the doctor. But you have to work, because if you don't work, you're not on disability, but, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're fully self-supporting, with nobody that's taking care of you, looking out for you, buying you food, buying you cigarettes, washing your clothes, whatever the case may be, you have to work, and it leaves no time to recover. So at this point, you gotta take a look at yourself and say, what's more important? And if you're at a job that treats you poorly, where people are clowning you, I've had people most recently Google my address on Zillow and say, oh, you rent, you don't own. I've had people follow me, okay? Oh, she don't drive. She don't share a car with her son. Maybe I lied out of embarrassment, or maybe it was nobody's business. Show up to work with an umbrella and say, oh, I heard you went for a promotion. Good luck. Here's an umbrella because, I heard you're too stupid to drive. My thing is this. I have an aunt. She cares for my youngest son, my third child born. He was born during my active addiction. I wanted my son so desperately. I went to every Mommy and Me, every meeting, every inpatient, outpatient, anger management, etc., etc., etc. She couldn't have any more kids. He was a boy. It's a long story. I can't really get into it for legal reasons and mob reasons. But, I'll say a prayer for her supposedly she's found God now. She kept my son away from me, and, you know, they lie and say, I don't seek my kids out when I desperately do, but the thing is, they gotta answer to God, and these programs that put mothers and kids in homes and stuff like that, they get money, whether it's HUD, whether it's DIFUS, and a lot of times people forget that the mother is still out here struggling and could have benefited from these resources and been a very positive parent and a great parent had I had the resources and not a rich family who already has money. So there's a lot of flaws in the system, and when I first came onto social media, I had a vlog on MySpace, and it went crazy. There was no viral back then, but I had an amazing camera, tons of SD card with tons of space. There was no GoPro, and my baby father was selling crack cocaine, so this was in the 2000s. We had a lot of money. There wasn't a day where I didn't have 10 or 12 grand just on hand. You know, my chain alone was like $800, no problem. And I had about 5 of them. You know, all the while though, I was putting myself at risk for jail, institution, mental illness, you know, not taking any medication, ingesting a lot of chemicals and pills, and like, you know, nobody around me, pregnant or not, myself, meaning me, cared because I had money. Nobody cared until I went to jail and lost my house. There's a lot that comes along with shortcuts, cutting corners, all this other bullshit, but everybody is cool with it until you need help. And I want people to know and understand my story, other stories like mine, through transparency and honesty. And fitness, bodybuilding, and all that is for me. I know it's for me because the first 3 years I had clean, I wasn't on any type of meds or supervision bullshit. I was at the gym every fucking day, and it cured me. Just like my dog cures me. I know what works for me and what doesn't. Church works for me, okay? Psychotropic medication, not really. It made me worse, so I'm going to continue to keep sharing, keep vlogging, keep speaking up, keep telling my story, keep getting better, keep working harder, keep staying focused, determined, on point, game tight. Not just early, but at the motherfucking earliest. And if y'all don't like me, that's your problem, not mine. It's not even my business, to be quite honest with you. So, I'll see you in a little bit.